Yes, sir. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another one of these, man. It's Thoughts of a Predicate Winner. And I didn't want to, bro. Not really. But we need to talk about this whole Karmelo Anthony situation. And no, I am not talking about the basketball player who spells his name with a C, not a K. So, to be fair, I should have known better. But all this time, bro, I was like, what did Karmelo Anthony do, bro? Looking at my algorithm. But, I'm kind of behind on the news of it all. I remember when this first popped off and my wife was telling me about it. My initial thoughts of the situation was it doesn't matter if you were getting bullied. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what you're going through, bro, unless somebody else has a knife and they're sticking it at you or they're threatening to end your life with a weapon in a school function and in a setting of sports or whatever it was. You should be charged for murder if you murder somebody, right? No matter what. That was my initial thoughts. It's like, well, he was getting bullied. Doesn't matter, you know? Why does that matter? Learn how to handle yourself. Learn how to handle your bullies. I think that that's important. I think that that's a discussion within its own merit. But you can't just kill somebody, bro. You can't just end their life because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I kind of want to get caught up on the news, man, because I've been seeing a lot of people kind of going crazy about it today. So let's see what's going on with that. All right, let's see what they're talking about.
Within the last hour, a judge granted the request to lower the bond for a North Texas teen facing capital murder charges.
So they did lower the bond. After y'all dummies, bro. Woo! Boy, would I be hot. I would be hot, boy. I mean, all these people that have been giving them this money through GoFundMe. Hey, man. Hey, I get it. Trying to do something nice, trying to help somebody, I guess. But why? Like, in this situation, I'm looking at this situation like, why are you GoFunding this person? Why? Like, he literally killed somebody. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, it's not okay. Don't get me twisted, but like, don't get bent out of shape to the point where you need to be out. Like, you guys, the GoFundMe people should be ashamed of themselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Boy, would I be hot, bro. Boy, would I be hot if I donated to a GoFundMe for a milli top. That's what they were asking for, correct? Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm right, I mean, maybe I should, I don't know, do some research as somebody that, contributes their voice to YouTube. But nah, I'm going to go with it. So I heard that they asked for a milli or whatever they asked for on GoFundMe. It reached about a milli, And from what I'm hearing, they bought a house, they bought a car, they got a lawyer, whatever, man. And now the judge is lowering the bond. Am I hearing that right? I mean, you let me know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll own it. But am I hearing this right? Boy, I would be hot. Y'all, I would be hot if I donated to that GoFundMe and the judge just ended up lowering the bond anyway. So for those of you that don't know, $250,000, right? So you need $25,000 to get that person out. You only have to pay 10% to a bail bondsman to get that person out. So $1 million is hard. That's $100,000. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing?
17-year-old Karmelo Anthony is accused of stabbing and killing another student at a track meet in Frisco. Anthony claims he acted in self-defense.
He's accused or he did it? Because even with your wording right there, he claims it was self-defense. He's admitting to doing it. So, I mean, whether it was self-defense or not, you killed the guy. You offed him.
Live from the courthouse in McKinney. And Chris, the judge heard from Anthony's family this morning before making her decision.
Yeah, Kara, this hearing just wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. In it, we heard from Karmelo Anthony's father. He testified about his son, and in the end, the judge did decide to lower the bond from $1 million to $250,000. Karmelo Anthony entered the courtroom handcuffed, wearing a yellow inmate jumpsuit. He spoke only to identify himself to the judge. And
And let's say this too, man, because I'm gonna give a little bit of bail to the father. I'm gonna give a little bit of bail to the family, bro. That's their son. It's very difficult, no matter what, to see your son coming out in a jumpsuit in a courtroom, and there's nothing that you could do as a father or as a mother to protect him. It's out of your hands. I do want you guys to realize how hard and difficult that is as a parent. So I want to give a little bit of grace to his father and to his mother. That has to be extremely difficult. Is this the bully? This skinny little white boy right here? Is that who we're saying the bully is, bro? This is the guy that you had to take a knife to, bro, because you couldn't. Okay. All right. I'm just checking the temperature. Checking the temperature, bro.
To identify himself to the judge and stared straight forward while his father, Andrew Anthony, testified about how his son is the oldest of 4 siblings, a straight-A student, active in his church, and worked 2 jobs while serving as captain of the football and track.
That is crazy. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Straight-A student. If all this is true, straight-A student, active in his church, the oldest of 4, handles himself well around his siblings, working 2 jobs, serving as captain of the football and the track team. Okay. This is safe to say, if this is all factual information, it is safe to say that this kid has good character. It is safe to say that. No matter what happened, his character is sold.
Team. To this point, he's not had any criminal history. All factors his defense brought up when asking the judge to lower the bond. The amount they were asking for was $150,000. The prosecution, though, argued the bond should have stayed at $1 million, even asking Andrew Anthony about the online fundraiser that's raised $412,000.
All right, so it's raised $412,000 for the son's defense. It's not quite as bad as $1 million, but I'm hearing that they bought a home and did all this stuff, bro. You probably shouldn't have bought that house. I mean, unless they were already like in the process and they had already sold theirs or whatever the case may be. I understand that, but still, it's not a good look no matter what. Like, it's just not a good look. Maybe it was just bad timing. I'm going to give them good faith. Maybe it was bad timing. I'm going to give as much good faith as I can to this gentleman. And I'm doing my best.
For his son's defense. Ultimately, though, the judge said the purpose of bond is not a punishment, but to ensure the defendant returns for his court dates and to protect the community. If Anthony does post the $250,000 bond, he will be on house arrest, confined to his home with a leg monitor, and cannot leave unless the court grants permission.
That's crazy, though, because while Kyle Rittenhouse was waiting on his trial, was he able to go home on house arrest? I'm just curious. I'm just asking out loud. I don't know for sure. I'm about to try to find out. Let's ask Deep Seat. Was Kyle Rittenhouse granted bail while waiting for trial? Yes. Okay. He was granted bail while awaiting trial. Initial arrest. Rittenhouse was arrested in August 26, 2020. Not that I'm contributing these two. These are two totally different, totally offset scenarios. I'm just curious. Initial arrest. Rittenhouse was arrested on August 26, 2020 in connection with the shootings in the protests of Kenosha, Wisconsin. He was held in Illinois, where he lived, while Wisconsin sought extradition. His legal team successfully fought extradition initially, but he was later transferred to Wisconsin. On November 20th, a $2 million bail was set by Kenosha County Commissioner. Okay, so he had a $2 million, which means $200,000, correct? $200,000 was needed just to give him bail, and that was on November 20th, 2020, and he was arrested on August 26th. So, okay, so maybe he was posted bail, but this is August, September, October, November. This was 3 months later. Someone ended up being found not guilty, and it still took 3 months to get him a bail. So supporters raised the funds, and Rittenhouse was released on November 20th. 2020. He had to surrender his passport, could not possess firearms, and had to remain under supervision until trial. That sounds similar to this. Like, kids got to be on house arrest, so I guess they're allowing the father to... I don't know, man. Rittenhouse stood trial on November 2021 and was acquitted of all charges on November 19, 2021, after arguing self-defense. And that was an obvious self-defense. I mean, there was video.
Asked by Judge Angela Tucker if he understood the terms of the bond, Karmelo Anthony simply said yes. Austin Metcalf's family, the victim's family, was in the courtroom. It was a packed courtroom, not a seat to be had. And
let's I'm giving grace to Karmelo Anthony's parents, but let's give grace to the parents of the victim as well, right? They got to sit up there. That boy he killed their son. I mean, how do you think that makes them feel? Lowered bond. No matter what, there should be some sort of punishment here, right? Like, arguing self-defense seems absolutely absurd to me in that setting with that white boy. Self-defense? I don't know, man. This is a tricky one.
Judge did...
Or not tricky, fishy. It's a fishy one. And the judge did acknowledge the amount
of scrutiny on this case, not only from the media, but the general public, pointing out that she's presided over many murder trials involving many different races, and that she has never seen the amount of security precautions having to be taken by deputies as what they're seeing in this case. Kara, back to you.
Karmelo Anthony is charged with killing Austin Metcalf by stabbing him in the chest during a dispute over seating in the bleachers at a high school track meet.
All right, that's what I wanted to get to. What is the charge? I want to play that one more time. This is a different video, but I want to play that one more time.
Metcalf by stabbing him in the chest during a dispute over seating in the bleachers at a high school.
Go all the way back. Run it back. Let's pay attention here, okay? Because we're gonna dig.
Karmelo Anthony is charged with killing Austin Metcalf by stabbing him in the chest during a dispute over seating in the bleachers at a high school track meet.
That's his charge. He's been charged with murder. He has been charged over a dispute with seating in a bleachered area. So that's the first thing I want to get to, right? There was a dispute. There was an issue. Two young guys, testosterone flaring, bro. Maybe they were hot. Maybe they wanted to fight. Maybe they wanted to get rowdy. Whatever it was, matters none. Matters none. Because if there was a dispute, and let's say that a fight was occurring and it was about to break out, this is my question. What's the name of the victim? I'm sorry, I'm kind of ignorant.
Anthony is charged with killing Austin Metcalf.
Austin Metcalf. So let's say this. Did Austin Metcalf get caught with a weapon? Did he have a weapon on his persons? If not, then how are we saying, what are we doing here? Self-defense? For real?
By stabbing him in the chest during a dispute over seating in the bleachers.
Straight to the chest, dog. Not a little cut, get away from me. Stabbing in the chest. Self-defense. Stabbing in the chest. Self-defense. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm catching what they're spitting, right? Like, I've been in a lot of situations. I've been in a lot of situations where there was weapons involved. I'm trying to wrap my brain around how you felt so threatened by some hands that you went straight for the chest, where the heart is. That was intent. There was intent in the placement of the knife, correct? Next subject. What are we doing at a school function with a weapon? At the very minimum, if they couldn't even prove that Karmelo Anthony did this, which they can, obviously, but if they couldn't prove that, he should at least be, minimally, he should be sitting in a jail cell for having a weapon on campus, correct? But to go straight for the chest, no cut, no warning, no like, get away from me, cha-cha-cha. You know what I mean? Just straight to the chest? I don't know, man. That's fishy.
At a high school track meet. But even before today's news conference began, there was some tension in the room. Fox 4's Casey Stiegel there when it all happened today. Casey.
Yeah, Heather, this is the first time that we've heard from Karmelo Anthony's parents since their 17-year-old son was accused of stabbing another student to death at a high school track meet in Frisco earlier this month. But before today's press conference could even get underway, a pretty uncomfortable moment when the victim's father showed up and then was escorted out by police.
As the media was setting up and getting into place for today's press conference at the Next Generation Action Network's offices, Jeff Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's dad, made a surprise appearance. He told me off camera he wanted to hear what was said and did not have plans to make a statement. Then, in another unexpected turn of events, Dallas police showed up and walked Mr. Metcalf out of the building.
He looks calm and collected, at least. If I was me, you did that to my baby? You did that to my baby? God help everybody. God help everybody.
Minutes later, Karmelo Anthony's parents, Andrew Anthony and Kayla Hayes, came to the podium alongside event organizer Dominique Alexander. Alexander had this to say about it.
That was disrespectful and just shows you all.
It was disrespectful for the father to show up? Is that what he's saying? How do you know that he didn't just want to have a good faith conversation with you? How do you know he didn't want to just sit down with you and be like, listen, I want to have a conversation behind the scenes. I would like to have a conversation with you. Here's my phone number. How do you know what his intent was to begin with? Disrespectful? His son just died at the hands of yours. I don't see that as disrespect. You still have your son. Even if he gets put in a prison cell for the rest of his life, you still have your son.
The character who is not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family.
So, I mean, let's have the uncomfortable truth talk, right? If that's your sentiment, without even knowing the intent of what the father was doing there, if that's your sentiment, then it sounds to me like you don't like the presence of white people. That's what it sounds like. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what that looks like. Like, and that, hey, maybe you don't. That's your right. I ain't mad at you. If you don't like being around white people, that's cool. It doesn't bother me at all. But don't call the man disrespectful if you don't know what the intent was, especially when he's dealing with the loss of his son. I mean, do you want problems? Because if you say that to me and I just lost mine and my intent was to just come and speak with you and just try to figure out and get a gauge. Maybe he was trying to get a gauge on who your kid is. Go straight to the head top, man. Let's go talk to the father. I want to have a couple of words, if that's okay. I just want to see, what is your kid a good kid, man? Is that like, help me out here, man. Help me to understand what you're cooking. Help me to understand it. That's all. Maybe we can have a good faith conversation and leave here feeling a little bit better on both sides. What if that was the intent? It's not fair to judge his intent and say his intent was to be disruptive and disrespectful. I don't like that, dog. I don't like that. I don't like it.
It has been a little more than 2 weeks since police say Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest during a dispute over seating in the bleachers at a track meet. Austin's twin says his brother died in his arms immediately.
Jeez, bro.
The case garnered national attention. Anthony's parents wanted to use Thursday's forum to dispel what they characterized as rumors and misinformation being spread about them on the internet.
My 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
I agree. I wouldn't say so either. I understand. You know what I mean? They're dealing with a lot, and she's right. She didn't do anything. But what do you think is going to be the reception of the talk that y'all just had with the media saying that this white man, the father of the victim, came up to be disruptive and disrespectful? What do you think the reception is there? Do you think that it's been easy on him? Do you think that it's fair for him to be dealing with what he's dealing with right now? Do you think that it's fair, as he just lost his son, that he has to deal with that type of pain? I mean, let's tone it down. Let's tone it down. But I do agree with her. I don't think that the world should be spewing hate at them as parents either.
They say, contrary to what's being put on social media, they have not yet accessed a single dime from the online fundraising campaign, which has yielded nearly $450,000 in contributions from the public.
The claims
Okay.
that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false.
Through tears,
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, like I did in the beginning of this video. I will. Maybe they were already in the process. Maybe they were already selling and buying, and you have to contractually, I mean, maybe they've already put down 10 grand on the home. Like, we don't know. You know what I mean? So that's fair. It's okay. Like, and I hate to see this mother up here crying. I know that kind of pain. I put my mama through that kind of pain. Maybe not quite that bad, but I put my mama through a lot of pain as well. So
Kayla Hayes spoke about the barrage of threats and harassment her family has endured.
I hate to tell you this though, mama, getting on a news conference ain't gonna make it no better. It ain't gonna make it no better, Kayla.
13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she...
Let's have a conversation about this too, though. I'm gonna pause it every time that I feel like there's something to be said. Whose fault is that? Is it because the public is outraged, or is it because your son committed a crime? Is it maybe a mixture of both? But let's not put all of the blame on the white people out here that are upset. You know, let's not do that.
She's fearful of what may happen to her. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair.
I hate that she said discriminated against right here, man. The judge just lowered the bond for you. You're not being discriminated against.
Before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to.
Family advocates also questioned a recent decision made by the school district.
Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation.
Sir, he's in jail. He's probably not going to graduate with the homies on this occasion, you know? At the very minimum, he had a weapon on campus, dude. He had a weapon on campus. I mean, let's at least be real about everything, right? Like, yeah, they're going to expel him, bro. Like, what's the expectation there?
A spokesperson for Frisco ISD tells Fox 4 they can't comment on the specific case due to privacy laws. However, if a student is accused of a serious crime, the district looks at the case and decides whether they should be disciplined, adding if they've completed the requirements to graduate, they may do so early, but they're not allowed on district property.
That's a fair rule. All right, let's get out of here, man. I'm done. I just wanted to hear what the family was saying. So, all in all, I think that I've said everything that I need to say, man. And I think ultimately I've come to the conclusion after watching all of these videos that there's no nice way of putting it. I don't know if YouTube's going to cut this video because of the words that I've used in it, but he ended that man's life. He ended that boy's life. He wasn't a man. He ended that boy's life on purpose. Put it in his chest, right? Right in the chest. And I mean, if we're going to be frank and if we're going to be real about it, that's not a self-defense type of move, right? self-defense in a school setting, on bleachers on a campus. If you got the thing on you, bro, do a little, like I said, cha-cha-cha, like do a little bit of a wave, maybe cut, you know what I mean? Maybe just, hey, back up, pow. I'm not even trying to be funny. Maybe do something like that. I can understand. All right, he was acting in self-defense. He was scared. He doesn't know how to use his hands. He doesn't know how to protect himself. Do a little slice and I'm out of here. But I didn't take his life. But in self-defense, when the victim doesn't have a weapon, to go straight for the chest sounds to me like murder because you didn't like him. Maybe you were feeling like you needed to defend yourself, but at the end of the day, you still murdered somebody, which you should be punished for that. Now, let's talk about the punishment. Do I believe that this kid who maybe made the worst decision of his life, and sounds to be a kid of good character, he does, but maybe he made the worst decision of his life by doing this, do I think that he deserves to like hit the death penalty and do life in prison? No, I do not. I do not. Anybody can change. He's young. I can't let it get by saying that it's self-defense. Like that takes a lot off of the sentence. He needs to serve his sentence. For the peace of the family where you took their kid. And if I'm giving you that kind of grace, if I'm giving Karmelo Anthony this grace and saying like, you shouldn't do, I'm not going to say what I think he should do. I'm not a judge, but you shouldn't do life. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be in there for that amount of time. You shouldn't be in there for 30, 40, 50 years, dog. Like, I'm going to be fair. You know what I'm saying? People change. People rehabilitate, you know, and it sounds like he already was a man of good character, or a kid of good character. And it sounds like he was, but this is the thing. If I'm giving you that grace, I'm also going to give that grace to the victim, because you're claiming that you needed to defend yourself in this situation. Well, I'm going to give him and extend him that same grace that I'm extending you in this situation. And I'm going to say, you probably didn't need to defend yourself on that level, in that manner. Because it sounds like to me, the victim was also a kid of good character and good standing, played football, organized sports, had family, had friends. Like, this is just an unfortunate situation. It sounds to me in closing like Karmelo Anthony made the worst decision of his life, and he's just going to have to live with that decision. You know what I mean? But it's not self-defense. Let's be real. It's not what it was. I mean, what on earth? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did he even have a mark on him? Did he get swung at? Did he get punched in the face? Like, if so, then even so, there's no reason to pull a knife out and stab somebody in the chest. You know that that's going to take their life. You're old enough to know that. So do I think that he deserves a little bit of grace and a little bit of mercy because he was an outstanding citizen, seemingly so? And do I think that he should not have to serve the rest of his remaining life in a prison cell? Yes, I will say that. I'm going to extend him that grace. I think that, you know, I don't know what the punishment levels look like. Maybe a 20, you know what I mean? Maybe 2 decades. He'll get out when he's 40 something. Might even still be able to get married and have kids. You know what I mean? I do believe that he deserves another chance, like I believe every human being deserves another chance. But I also know that if I'm the father of the victim and my wife is the mother of the victim, I need a little bit of peace, dog. Don't say it was self-defense. Don't put that bad name on me and mine. Don't put that on my family just because we're white. And that's what it feels like. It feels like they're trying to put that on it just because they were white. Like white bullies. Come on. Come on. Anyways, man, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate y'all. Please make sure to like and subscribe on your way out. And if you're feeling real froggy, double click on that subscribe button, become a member, and, you know, be a part of this beautiful little thing of ours, man. If you want to contribute financially, you can do so on the Cash App that you saw in the video, or super chat, super thanks. And I'm appreciative of all of those things. Thank y'all so much. And thank you to my members. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. All right. Peace.